What shaped Edhi's life? Abdul Sattar Edhi, the "Angel of Mercy," as people called him, started his humanitarian work in 1951 by establishing a very small dispensary in Mithidar, Karachi, Pakistan. From this humble beginning, he, single-handedly, went on to create Pakistan's largest charitable organization, based entirely on private donations. Today, the Edhi Foundation employs more than 7,000 people, both paid and voluntary workers, to manage its huge network. In Pakistan, it operates about 1,500 ambulances that offer a 24-hour service, from more than 350 Edhi centers. Additionally, there are more than 17 Edhi homes and 330 welfare centers across Pakistan. They provide shelter for an estimated 85,000 people, including senior citizens, special children, needy children, infants, and babies, and they operate food kitchens, clinics, and rehabilitation centers for drug addicts and the mentally ill. Even animals have been provided a home in an animal shelter. Edhi was born in early 1928, in Bandva, Gujarat, British India. His father, Haji Abdul Shakur, worked as a dry fruit commission agent in Bombay. Since his father was mostly away from home, he was mainly brought up by his mother who, according to Edhi, had a great influence on his life. But other members of his family also contributed in shaping his life, including his father and grandfather. He used to fondly recall that his grandfather, Haji Rahmatullah, was a simple, content, and patient person, who did not believe in surpluses, and even disapproved of having extra food at home. Moreover, he had a reputation in the community for resolving conflicts and settling disputes. Thinking back, Abdul Sattar Edhi once said about his father, "My father had very high moral standards for himself. To him, simplicity was the only tolerable way of life." When we migrated to Pakistan, we got into serious financial trouble. However, he never complained, and throughout these times, he was never dishonest in his business. Despite the fact that life in Pakistan was very difficult at that time, my father was a truly optimistic person and always had a positive attitude. In Bandva, Abdul Sattar Edhi was known among his friends as Roti. As Edhi explained, every time my father came back home from one of his trips, he shaved my head. Once, when I asked him why he does it, he explained that it is simply the most effective way to curb pride and prevent arrogance. It makes you work better because appearance is a distraction. When you don't think about the way you look, you develop humility and truth. I think it was the best lesson I was ever taught. However, the person who apparently made Abdul Sattar Edhi the man he became was his mother. Edhi said of his mother that she was a very gentle, sensitive and quiet person. She guided Edhi in such a manner that he grew up to be a very kind and sensitive person. He was particularly caring where the old, handicapped or mentally challenged people were concerned. If ever he saw some mean kids making fun of the mentally challenged, he would stop them. His mother always appreciated such acts by saying, "You have given a voice to those who do not have it. These people are as innocent as babies, they know nothing of the world and yet they have to live as adults." According to Abdul Sattar Edhi, he learnt about love and care from his mother. She would always distribute cashew nuts, pistachios, ginger and other food items that her husband sent her from Bombay, amongst the poorer families in her neighborhood. She would ask young Edhi to distribute these packets to families who were less fortunate than they were. One story that Edhi liked to share about his mother was about his school days. He said that when he was in school, his mother used to give him 2 paisas, currency. One to buy something to eat for himself and the other to buy whatever he was eating for a poor boy watching him eat, but who had no money to buy it for himself. Often, when she asked him about the 2 paisas, he confessed that he had spent both the paisas on buying things for himself. Hearing this, she would tell him that he had eaten poor people's money. These poor people were Muslims, the oppressed, disadvantaged. She told him to fear Allah, as He never helps those who do not look after the Muslims, who do not fulfill huquq-ul-ibad, human rights, the rights of other human beings, as this was the first priority in Islam. Edhi also talked of the way his mother ensured that he did not waste his time. She would ask him to bring raw cotton to their home. She would then clean it and ask him to take it back to the shop in order to earn some money. She was of the view that no one should sit at home idly, everyone should work to earn a living. Edhi often fondly recalled that it was his mother who planted the seed of social welfare and charitable work in him. She not only nurtured it but taught him how to control his desire for material things and to overcome personal greed. Edhi often said that although his mother's whole life was a struggle, she was always positive and kind to others. She was the one who taught him love for humanity when he was a child. So, after her death, he decided to dedicate his whole life to the service of humanity. After his mother passed away, Edhi bought an old wagon, with donation from a friend, and converted it into an ambulance. This was the first ambulance service for the poor people, and he called it the Poor People's Van. He did not charge for the ambulance service. But when people insisted on paying for it, they were told to drop money in a box outside the dispensary. Soon he was able to increase the reach of his services, and because of the ambulance more and more people got to know about Edhi's organization and services. He even started a funeral service which picked up human bodies found in the sea, in rivers, in gutters or at the roadside. He would even pick up these bodies, himself, when the family members refused to touch them. He would bring these bodies to Mithidar, wash them and provide a proper burial service. According to an observer of the Edhi Foundation, the ambulance service and the funeral services provided Edhi Foundation an excellent opportunity to grow all over Pakistan, since there was no other organization doing this, not even the government. An old associate of Edhi said about him, Edhi's self-transformation was for a social mission and not for himself. He changed his lifestyle for his mission. People do change, but mostly for themselves. Edhi changed for others. Hence, no matter how insurmountable the difficulties and how challenging the times, he never lost his positive attitude and confident outlook. Moreover, he made a commitment to himself that he would never give anybody reason to challenge his integrity or his lifestyle, that he would never spend extra time or money on himself or his family. He had only 3 pairs of clothes, 1 pair of plastic chappal, 1 jinnah cap, and he slept on the wooden bench in his dispensary, so that people could see how he was living. Abdul Sattar Edhi died on July 8, 2016, in Karachi, Pakistan, due to kidney failure. The man is gone, but the mission will continue. His mission was to serve humanity, regardless of religion, race, and background. He adopted a lifestyle that would help him achieve this mission. It was this simplicity of life and this humanitarian vision, which had been inculcated in him by his parents, mainly his mother, that made him the Abdul Sattar Edhi that he became. The first common citizen of Pakistan, in nearly 70 years of its history, to receive a state funeral.